Employers, why is that employee that's always late still around? I worked at a mid-sized accounting firm called Peterson Associates for about 3 years, and the most ridiculous situation I ever dealt with happened during tax season 2019. My coworker Amanda got fired in the second week of January, right when things were starting to ramp up for the busy season. Amanda had been with the company for about 2 years and handled a lot of the basic tax prep work. Individual returns, small business stuff, nothing too complex, but definitely essential during crunch time. She got canned because she'd been making consistent errors on returns and had apparently lied about her credentials during the hiring process. Found out she didn't actually have her enrolled agent certification like she'd claimed. So there I was, 2 weeks into January, and my boss Margaret calls me into her office with this apologetic smile that I immediately knew meant my life was about to get significantly worse. She explained that Amanda was gone and asked if I could temporarily cover her responsibilities while they found a replacement. Now, I should mention that my normal job was already pretty demanding. I handled the more complex business returns, did some audit support work, and managed a handful of our bigger clients. During tax season, I was already pulling long days just to keep up with my regular workload. But Margaret was in a bind, and I figured I could help out for a few weeks until they hired someone new. The problem was that Margaret had terrible judgment when it came to hiring. The first replacement she brought in was this guy named Kevin, who seemed promising during the interview, but turned out to be completely useless. He'd been out of the field for like 5 years and couldn't remember basic tax code. I spent more time correcting his work than it would have taken me to just do it myself. He lasted exactly 3 weeks before Margaret finally admitted he wasn't working out. The second hire was even worse. Linda seemed to know what she was doing, but she had zero work ethic. She'd show up late, take long lunches, and basically treated the job like it was some kind of part-time hobby. Meanwhile, I'm drowning in work trying to cover for Amanda's clients, plus train this woman, plus keep up with my own responsibilities. By mid-February, I was working insane hours just to keep everything from falling apart. I'm naturally a night owl, so I'd been coming in around 9 a.m. and working until at least 10 p.m. every single day, including weekends. Some days I didn't leave the office until midnight. I was basically living on coffee and whatever takeout I could get delivered to the office. Margaret, on the other hand, was one of those people who believed that being in the office early somehow made you a better employee. She'd roll in at 8 a.m. sharp every morning and leave promptly at 5 p.m. like clockwork, and she started getting increasingly passive-aggressive about my 9 a.m. arrival time. It started with little comments. "Oh, good afternoon," she'd say when I walked in at 9:05. Or she'd make pointed remarks during staff meetings about the importance of being available for clients during normal business hours. Never mind that most of our clients during tax season preferred evening appointments anyway because they had day jobs. The breaking point came during the first week of March when Margaret scheduled a mandatory 8 a.m. staff meeting. I dragged myself in early, completely exhausted from working until 11 p.m. the night before, and she spent the first 10 minutes of the meeting talking about punctuality and professional expectations. She kept glancing at me while she talked about how some people seemed to think the rules didn't apply to them. After the meeting, she pulled me aside and gave me this whole lecture about setting a good example and how my late arrivals were affecting office morale. I was so tired and fed up that I just looked at her and said, "You know what, Margaret? Why don't you check my timesheet and see if I'm really slacking off?" She got this confused look on her face like she had no idea what I was talking about. So I walked her over to the computer and pulled up my hours for the past 4 weeks, 13-hour days, every single day, weekends included. I'd been putting in more hours in a week than she worked in 2 weeks. Her face went completely red when she saw the numbers. She mumbled something about not realizing how many hours I'd been working and quickly changed the subject. After that, the passive-aggressive comments about my arrival time stopped completely. I finally got a decent replacement hire in April, right as tax season was winding down. Margaret never acknowledged how completely unreasonable she'd been, but at least she stopped giving me shit about coming in at 9 a.m.